Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I took my kids to hit baseballs, and when I got home, I crashed. I was tired. I woke up very early this morning, like at 5 in the morning, and I was just worn out, but I took me a short, I can't really take naps during the day, but I've learned that if you take even a 10-minute nap, it's like catching up on 2 hours of sleep, for me at least. That's how it works. Okay, there is a ton of stuff that's been coming out today, so I wanted to go through it. Seiko Carmona sent me this, and he told me that I needed to remind you all of something, which I'm going to do, something we've covered before. Stuart Alderati tweeted this out today, like not too long ago. Remember, Stuart Alderati is the general counsel for Ripple. Seeing lots of tweets spreading misinformation, legal and otherwise. Here are some facts. First line of the SEC complaint alleges from at least 2013, years before the DAO report, yet the complaint was not filed for 7 years and the day before the chair leaves office, ? He says, there are no fraud or misrepresentation claims. There is one legal question. Did certain of Ripple's distributions of XRP constitute an investment contract? We look forward to litigating that in court and providing the industry the clarity it deserves. As always, the SEC cherry-picked and truncated the facts, quotes, etc. No mention that throughout 2018, Ripple's XRP sales represented only 0.095% to 0.43% of global XRP volume, and in Q1 2019, those sales amounted to 0.22% of overall trading volume. Now, I think it's important against the backdrop of this Jay Clayton guy who, talk about a coward move. What this guy just did, and then today announces he's leaving. This is his last day at the SEC. That should be the definition of coward when you look it up, the way that he pulled that. And it's very, very wrong what he did. Okay, but let's remember who Stuart Alderati is. Before he came to Ripple, he was the general counsel and corporate secretary at CIT Group Bank. Okay, or CIT, I think it's called CIT Group or CIT Bank. But anyway, so here's the tie-in. This is the Wikipedia for Secretary of State Secretary of Treasury Steve Mnuchin. Sailed to CIT in 2015. Mnuchin had bought a bank in the financial crisis called IndyMac, one of the troubled banks. He later changed the name of Indy Bank and named it One West Bank. In 2015, Mnuchin sold One West Bank to CIT Group for $3.4 billion. After the acquisition by CIT, Mnuchin remained at One West and became a member of CIT Group's board of directors. This is when they added Stuart Alderati as general counsel. Now, Steve Mnuchin also, when he's at One West, who were the attorneys that were his right and left hand men? Well, it would be Joseph, I think it's Otting, who was the comptroller of the currency that stepped down to let in his other right hand man, which is Brian Brooks. And if you recognize that name, it's because you do. It's the same Brian Brooks who then went to Coinbase and is now the comptroller of the currency of the United States and says we're getting the regulations in 6 to 8 weeks.
Brian, I wanted to follow up on the point you made in terms of you think good things are coming by the end of the Trump term for cryptocurrency. Are you in the camp who believes that more regulation in cryptocurrency will be a good thing overall for the industry?
Yeah, look, I wouldn't say more regulation. This is not like your breakfast cereal box where it talks about weight, not volume. I don't think we need 50 regulations instead of 2. But what we do need is clarity about what's allowed. And so we need some guidance, for example, about whether banks can connect directly to blockchains as payment networks. The answer has to be yes, right? We needed answers about can banks custody cryptocurrency so that institutions felt comfortable adopting. And you saw what happened when we gave that clarity. So you have clarity across a variety of areas that I think you'll be seeing just in the next 6 to 8 weeks, which will make it easier for crypto investors to know how to invest, to know how institutions can be in this asset class. And those are the things that are driving prices at this point. It may have been a bubble 2 years ago, but with more clarity, institutions that see this as a real thing are going to adopt that scale, which they've already started to do. So,
okay, so this ain't over by a long shot is the point there. Okay, now I also want to remind, especially those of you that are new, I want to remind you of another thing. The XRP ledger is its own thing. This was done on September 24th, 2020. The XRP Ledger Foundation, an independent and nonprofit entity, today announced its mission to accelerate the development and adoption of decentralized XRP ledger. Okay? And it says, while executing on the vision will be an ongoing multi-year effort, key areas of initial activity on the foundation roadmap, core technology behind XRP Ledger, unique node list, developer ecosystem, sustainability initiatives, social community initiatives. So this thing is out there. It's independent of Ripple. Ripple is a company. The XRP Ledger is its own thing. It exists no matter what happens to Ripple, which is part of the reason for what a joke the whole thing from the SEC was. Joker says the Bitcoin maxis get excited about XRP down 30 cents, down to 30 cents. XRP has no place in crypto. Some hours later, the XRP crash drags down the whole market. Even Bitcoin is finding it difficult to pass 24K now. I wonder what happens to Bitcoin if they go after Tether. Just saying. Exactamundo. Tether. Now, I also wanted to give you all a little reminder. This shows you just who this guy is. Okay? It is not. This whole SEC thing was presented as if Brad Garlinghouse and all these guys were these shady characters that are pulling all this stuff. They've been out right with these guys for 8 years, out in it, very transparent, putting out quarterly reports about everything that's going on, completely transparent. And these guys are acting like they've done something wrong. This is the Economic Club of New York. Jay Clayton's there. And then the next month, Brad Garlinghouse was there. This is the schedule for FinTech Week 2019 in Washington, D.C. Jay Clayton speaks, and then Brad Garlinghouse gets on the stage. This is a picture from that. Brad Garlinghouse, Jay Clayton. Then you look here. This is an actual meeting. This is the SEC's website. This is an actual meeting. 11 o'clock a.m. This is Jay Clayton's schedule. Meeting with Ripple, including Brad Garlinghouse, CEO, David Schwartz, Chief Technology Officer, and John Roscoe, Special Assistant to the President, White House Office Presidential Personnel. So you can see this was a total, talk about a backstabbing. If that's what you really ought to call this. But this guy right here, this is the same guy who's done all this hemming and hawing. Oh, I don't really know how to think of it. Did this for, and I don't know how long he's been there, at least a year or 2 or 3. But hemming and hawing like he didn't know anything, didn't know what to do. And then he does this and then he quits the next day. He's gone the next day. What in the world is that? This is, by the way, this is at, what was it called? The Institute for Financial Markets. This was in Washington, D.C. This is, he's on stage with Chris Brummer, who's interviewed Brad Garlinghouse at least once or twice. And he's on stage. Brad Garlinghouse is getting on stage next. And this is what he says. This was a year or two ago.
Avid XRP investor. And you know that Brad's up next, so I'm going to ask this question for him. I think it's a softball. I think it's an easy question, but we'll see. You might slap me later. Will the SEC rule on XRP, and when, if they will?
Wow. So both.
You got softballs.
It's such a tough question.
No. So look, we don't comment on specific enforcement matters or whether matters are under review or dialogue. It would be inappropriate to do so. What I will say is on enforcement matters generally, there are a number of factors that go into the assessment of any remedial action. One of the matters that you think about is how much of the conduct occurred in inside or outside of the United States, investor loss, those types of things. But I can't comment specifically on any action. And in terms of any particular product, I'm just not in a position to comment. But I appreciate.
I don't think he appreciates anything. I think that he is not a good guy. Okay, so then this comes out today. A Wednesday announcement by SEC shows signs the regulator might budge on letting crypto custodians become regulated broker dealers. And then XRP sent me this. It's a tweet from Hester Pierce, who they call her, I think they call her the crypto mom. We'll see if she stands behind this garbage that he just put out yesterday. New guidance on custody of digital asset securities, baby steps. And this is their guidance. The SEC today issued a statement and request for comment regarding this. Sets forth the commission's position that for a period of 5 years, a broker-dealer operating under the circumstances set forth in the statement will not be subject to commission enforcement action on the basis that a broker-dealer deems itself to have obtained and maintained physical possession or control of customer fully paid and excess margin digital asset securities for purposes of paragraph B1. Okay, so something's going on here. And then J.C. Collins, who's been alive and well on Twitter here the last couple of days, says timing is not a coincidence. SEC is corralling the market. For all those panicking over Ripple suit, there's just there's another piece. Everything will pump again, maybe sooner than you think. I'm with J.C. Collins here. I think all the world's a stage, and I think that we're watching a drama that it's necessary for us to go through. Jonathan D. sent me this statement. So then after all the drama, this guy, and remember their whole thing, the whole idea of their agency is that they're supposed to protect all. Do you feel protected the last 24 hours? I don't. I feel like the guy stuck a knife in my back, okay? I don't feel protected at all. And he did nothing but hurt investors. And for him to walk away the day after that, what a cowardly move. I really can't believe what we're watching here. It's unbelievable to see that this guy would have this kind of gall to treat people and treat all of us like that. I mean, because we are investors, and he says his job is to protect all of us, and I don't think he protected anybody. I think he hurt a lot of people. Michael Arrington says it like only Michael Arrington can. Clayton will be the most financially conflicted SEC chairman in history. He's also a huge dick, added Arrington. That is great. Michael Arrington does not hold any punches. And I said no coincidence because XRP Darren had tweeted this bullish. No such thing as coincidences. This is fishy. The whole situation. He's right. The whole situation's fishy, and everybody knows it. And that's why I think it goes away one way or another. I don't know if that's through a settlement or if the incoming person just says, you know what, that's bull what was done, and who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But one thing I do know is a company like Ripple and a technology that they have been working on all this time is not just going to go away. Not going to happen that way. J.C. Collins, file lawsuit claiming Ripple is selling unregistered securities. Next day issue statement that shows SEC will allow crypto exchanges to be licensed as dealer brokers to deal in securities. Resign position same day. Corral crypto markets under securities law regulations coming. And then we have this from XRP. This is from XRP Yo-Yo. For 8 years, the eyes are on XRP. Why now files a lawsuit on XRP just before Christmas on Jay Clayton's last day accidentally? No, I don't believe in coincidences. My brain doesn't work on false flag news. Like Jay told us, if we don't recognize it, it will go around us. This is another Jay Clayton from the last year or so.
For regulators of different types to recognize that digitization and the digitization of the plumbing and other aspects of our financial system, including payment transfers, etc., it is coming. What I'll say, just the natural economic forces that it unleashes, taking fat out of the system, for lack of a better term, it's happening. Now, we have to recognize that that's happening. recognize our mission, safety and soundness, investor protection, fair markets, and ensure that as that digitization takes place, we're being true to those principles. But we should not be fighting that digitization, because if we fight it, it will go around us.
Well, thank you. That mirrors my
what did you
feelings
just
on it.
do?
And I assume that when you say it is coming,
I'm sorry, Senator, it's here.
this year.
It's here. It is here already.
Yeah,
Right. It's here. Thanks, Jay. All right. So, Crypto Bull, if you really think that Ripple would send a letter to our government if they had anything to hide about XRP, you either think Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson are complete morons who would love jail time or don't get it. This was, I remember this because I was on vacation in Boston when this came out. It was a Dear Congress letter, and I can't remember, I think it seems like it was in the Wall Street Journal where they put that. And then there are no coincidences, folks. On this date in 1913, just in time for the First World War, Woodrow Wilson signed the Federal Reserve Act into law, introducing more than a century of fiat money creation and the looting of the American people via inflation. President's signature enacts currency law, Federal Reserve. And then finally, this is from Bank XRP. The Biden administration can change the world with new crypto regulations. Ashish Birla. Ashish Birla from Ripple wrote an op-ed, I guess you'd call it, in TechCrunch. I wanted to show you what he says down here about what an incoming administration or a new SEC chairman could do. Down here is what I like. Appoint an SEC chair that understands how to truly advance innovation while protecting consumers and the markets. The pro-innovation lip service we've been getting from this SEC is just that, lip service. Every crypto project has SEC. This SEC has ended up fleeing the U.S. in bankruptcy or left holding worthless tokens. And then he says, create a national digital banking license charter similar to Singapore's to streamline the process for fintechs. Apply for crypto, lending, payments, licensing. Define clear classifications for digital assets, derivatives. Create smart contracts and stablecoins. Create a bipartisan public and private sector group led by tech-savvy thought leaders such as Andrew Yang to collaborate on landmark legislation. So he's laying out some different things. Obviously, Ashish Birla does not approve of what's been going on either. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that it has just begun. This is just the beginning. There's going to be a lot of innings in this game, folks, and nobody said it wasn't going to be a bumpy ride. Thanks for listening.